Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So this morning, I have to explain this big Bitcoin crash that has occurred ahead of a major event. Why did it happen? Is this normal? Should you be panicking? And is there anything to look forward to? Well, I'm going to talk about all these things and more. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. So unfortunately, Bitcoin did crash. Sort of. It depends on who you are. Is it really a crash? For some, yes. For some, like me, no. I mean, yes, we did go from 71,000 all the way down to 67,000. It looks bad. It looks bad if you're looking at it that way. But, you know, if you look at it other way and you zoom out a little bit, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, we were just here, a couple weeks ago. And then we were here last month. Yeah, we were here. And actually, no, a couple months ago, we were actually down here. So is it really a crash? I guess it depends on how you look at it. For me, it's not a crash. It's just a little blip on the way to the next leg up. Okay, we have these all the time. Now, why did it happen? I think that's the number one question, right? Everyone wants to know, why did Bitcoin crash? Why is this so bad to me? Why can't I retire yet? Well, I mean, if you look at the US market, it's down today, okay? Just like Bitcoin. It's red. And why is that? Well, because everyone's waiting for Fed Chair Powell and what he's going to say tomorrow, okay? I mean, there's another FOMC meeting. People are wondering what he's going to say. We already know he's not going to have a rate cut tomorrow. It's almost certain that there is going to be no rate cut tomorrow. In fact, 99.4% chance he will just leave rates the way it is. But still, people are always trying to read in between the lines, trying to put two and two together, trying to forecast what may be coming. And people are just scared, especially Wall Street. They are scared he may say something that's out of ordinary, I guess, something unexpected. And that's why, a lot of them have sold off a little bit ahead of the meeting, right? Now, when I say a little bit, for them, is a little bit. For the rest of us, it could be a lot, because that's why markets move. It happens almost every single time. Ahead of a Fed meeting, you have a down market. It should not come as a surprise at this point in time, okay? Every single time. So we will see what happens tomorrow. Today, actually, they start the meeting. Tomorrow, that's when there's a press release. And then there's a big press conference. And then Powell will say what he normally says, which is, well, based on the data, inflation is still elevated, but we are seeing signs of economic slowness. Jobs report, even though temporarily shows that we are gaining jobs, unemployment, long-term jobs, is decreasing, which is why unemployment's going up. And then he's going to talk about all that stuff, right? And maybe I'll stream it, maybe not. I don't know. I've streamed it way too many times. And he kind of says the same thing over and over again, but maybe I'll stream it tomorrow. But this is the reason why Bitcoin dipped down. Okay, now, despite it going down, we still have a lot of great things, guys. Like I said, it's not like something we haven't seen before. We have seen Bitcoin at these levels many times within the last 3 months. We've been going sideways for the last 3 months, right? And we had a lot of dips, up and down dips. Yes, we see them all the time. All the time, right? So this should not really be a surprise at this point. However, even with that said, Bitcoin is still the easiest way to become a millionaire, according to Robert Kiyosaki, and I agree with that. Bitcoin is the easiest way to become a millionaire. Making millions as an entrepreneur is hard. I know you have to be really smart, dedicated, and lucky to become a millionaire starting your own business. I say Bitcoin because Bitcoin does the hard work for me. This is why I love Bitcoin. This is one of his only tweets where it's only about Bitcoin. Normally he throws in gold and silver in there. But this is true. Nothing has out-appreciated Bitcoin in the last 10 years or even 5 years or since the beginning of time when Bitcoin started in 2009, right? And it's gone up millions and millions of percents, right? If you look at where we have come from, I guess, from just last year alone, I mean, we're talking about hundreds of percents, and annualized, Bitcoin is averaging 140%, right? So nothing out appreciates Bitcoin. That's why you just have to ignore short-term volatility and focus on holding. That's really it. HODL for life-changing wealth. That's what you have to do with Bitcoin. And it's the easiest way to become a millionaire, just simply by holding and plus a little DCAing along the way. That's really it. That's really it. But now this cycle is a little bit different because we know as retail investors, long-term holders have been doing this forever. It's the ultimate strategy. But this cycle is different because now we have companies and institutions also embracing this. Metaplanet, which, you know, it's a gaming company out of Japan, it has really nothing to do with Bitcoin and has nothing to do with MicroStrategy. But guess what? They just continue to DCA now. They just add more Bitcoin. Whenever there's a dip, whenever they have free cash, what do? They just buy the dip because they now understand, okay, from a publicly traded company perspective, yes, buying Bitcoin gives you really good press and their stock jumps, right? But think about that. Why does that happen now? Because now holding Bitcoin is seen as a good idea, not as a bad idea. Prior, like MicroStrategy in 2022, 2023, when it disclosed anytime it bought more Bitcoin, its stock actually went down. It didn't go up, but that's different now. Now, Wall Street and investors finally realize, oh my God, holding Bitcoin is the ultimate strategy, even for a public trade company. So now, someone like Metaplanet, not only do they understand that, but also they do believe that, hey, fiat is going to zero. Inflation will be a forever thing. The best way to hedge against inflation is to hold Bitcoin, right? So now you're starting to see companies do the same thing that retail investors have been doing for a decade, which is to HODL and DCA. We're seeing that every single day, basically now, or every single week, we get new reports of existing companies buying and new companies buying. Right, so Metaplanet, you know, they started buying several months ago, maybe even last year, but you know they're relatively new compared to say MicroStrategy. But yesterday I also mentioned about DeFi Technologies, a public trade company in Canada. Their stock went up 23% because they also declared that they have bought Bitcoin, 110 Bitcoin, and they're going to continue to do so moving forward. Right, so now this cycle, we have public trade companies and, of course, institutions both buying Bitcoin. And that has never happened before in previous history of any Bitcoin cycle, with the exception of MicroStrategy. Yes, they started in 2020, but outside of that, no one else was doing it. This cycle is different because they understand, right? So as retail investors right now, unfortunately, we're fighting, okay, over the existing Bitcoin that exists with these large institutions and financial tech companies and banks and public trade companies, right? So that is the reality. And this is what it looks like, okay? Those of you guys that understand this will be Bitcoiners forever. The amount of money out there versus the available supply, this is exactly what it looks like. There's not enough Bitcoin to go around, especially now with what I said, institutions, banks, financial tech companies, and retail investors, long-term holders that are continuing to buy the available supply, but there's so much money that is going to be funneled in the near future. it's going to be impossible to even buy one Bitcoin because it's going to become so expensive. This is what I'm talking about in terms of life-changing wealth. Let it come to you. All you have to do is HODL and DCA and ignore the volatility and just let the gains come to you. Because as the available capital around the world, we're talking about $100 trillion in terms of the money out there in the world. Just a fraction of that coming into Bitcoin will drive Bitcoin's price to astronomical levels. 6 figures, just getting started. 7 figures will happen. And who knows how high it could get after that, right? So this is why I tell you guys to ignore short-term volatility. It always happens. And where we are now at 67 is not even a level where you should be panicking. Even if we fell down to 60,000, even if we fell down to 56,000, which we hit in May, that doesn't mean the run is over. That doesn't mean that anything different has happened because we just hit that last month. We have seen this before. There will be volatility due to geopolitical stuff, macro stuff like a FOMC meeting, maybe some manipulation, maybe some whale activity trying to drive out the longs. It happens all the time, but you should not be feared out of the market. If you do, you're going to regret it. If anything, you should panic buy rather than panic sell. Okay, so here's some whale or Bitcoin whales that opened a giga long position on Bybit and OKX for Bitcoin, and we haven't seen this since Bitcoin was at 29,000. So definitely there are some whales taking advantage of the current dip that we're going through because, again, they understand, okay, when there's a buying opportunity, you take advantage of it. And any of these small dips and volatility moments, we will move past them. And no one will remember afterwards. That's how it always works. I think a lot of you guys forgot that Bitcoin was just at 50,000 last month, right? And I think most of you guys forgot that, hey, not too long ago, we were still in the 30s. And we started a year in 2023 at 16,000, right? Again, once you move past it, no one remembers. People only focus on short term. But if you just broaden your horizon a little bit and realize that, hey, okay, this has happened. You know what? Look at where we were 6 months ago, 12 months ago, or even last month. It's not so bad. And in fact, I'm excited that things went lower because now I could DCA more while it's cheaper, right? That's how you're supposed to think. And a lot of these things that I'm showing you guys have not changed and are still very, very bullish. For example, the hash ribbons, which actually measure miners and whether or not they capitulated, because there are a lot of small miners that can't survive anymore because of the halving event, because it is double as difficult as before to mine a single Bitcoin. That means the cost has gone up double. There are a lot of miners that are not doing so well. Even the big miners, they're struggling a little bit. They have to sell off. There are charts that show that. They have to sell off just to pay for operations and for expansion, right? But if you look at this, even with this hash ribbon, you can measure bottoms, right? It measured a bottom in 2021 when Bitcoin dipped from 64 down to 28 before it went up to 69. It measured that pretty well, right? It also measured our 16,000 bottom. And now it's measuring a bottom again. Think about that at where we are. So what is this indicating? Well, it's like I said, I've been saying this for a while, right? Bitcoin has been going sideways for 3 months now. Okay, we've been consolidating for quite some time. And we are ready to move upwards. And when we do, it's going to be absolutely glorious because there's nothing above our previous high, 73,000. There's no volume, no sell orders. There's nothing in the order books really above 73,000. So when we break through, and there will be a massive long short squeeze, we will see 80, 90, 100 in no time, right? And this is actually kind of telling you that this is the ultimate buy signal, because the last time this triggered was when Bitcoin was at 16,000. Think about that. Last time this triggered was when Bitcoin at 16,000, and it's just triggered now when Bitcoin is at 67,000, right? Just take a second to think about that. So think about it. And as for dips, okay, here's an example of dips, okay, that happened in the 2017 cycle. Many dips, okay? And yes, I was streaming for some of that, but not all of it, because I started my channel in late 2017, but I did experience a lot of that. We have dips all the time. Again, they happen. But if you're a smart investor, or you're a big whale, or you're a fintech company, or a public trade company, now you know they are the times to be buying, to buy the dip, because we will pass and we will form a new high, and then no one remembers. I don't think anyone really remembers those dips in 2017, right? Now, other things, here's another chart zoomed out. Again, when in doubt, zoom out, because does today's dip register on this, decade long chart? No, it doesn't. The dips that do register, they are massive. They are massive. But like what we're going through now, it doesn't even register. But here's the thing. Again, if you're just going according to previous cycles and you're looking at previous patterns, okay, where we are right now, how would you guess Bitcoin move? Would you guess at this point in time in the cycle versus what has happened before, is Bitcoin about to drop down, or is it about to pump upwards? If I knew nothing about Bitcoin and someone just showed me this and asked me to place money, would I buy a short right now or would I buy a long right now? I would put all my money on the long, because even if I knew nothing about Bitcoin, just looking at this, I'm like, yeah, Bitcoin's gonna go higher, not lower. But knowing what I know for certainty that it will go higher, right? But if you just look at the previous cycles, we're mimicking almost exactly what's happened before. And if I was a betting man, I bet long, for sure. And here's a zoomed in version. Again, what has happened in 2017, that chart I showed you all the dips. But right before Bitcoin started going up, that was around $1,000. We had choppiness. We had sideways movement. You could call it volatility. You can say a consolidation point, right? And then what happened finally after we broke out? There were 16 weeks of that. We went from $1,000 to $20,000, right? So again, we have 15 weeks of chops or choppiness, right? Just like before. And when we're ready, when we break out, that's when 80, 90, 100, and wherever we end up, $300,000, $400,000 will be coming. You just have to be patient. That's it. That's all you need is patience when it comes to the game of crypto or Bitcoin or anything involving investing. You have to have some patience, right? Same thing with ETH. Here's a bull flag that ETH is going through. Even though ETH recently topped out at 3,900, it did go down a little bit. Now it's back to 3,500, right? We know that ETFs are around the corner. I don't know when. I don't know when ETH ETFs will be actually traded, but we know that they're coming. Approval has already happened, just waiting for the 9 different fund managers to release. And I think once they do, it's going to be good for Ethereum. I just don't see how there's not going to be a lot of money going into them, right? So ETH is probably going to skyrocket afterwards. And plus, I don't think it's just going to help ETH. I think liquidity overall going into ETH or Bitcoin or whatever, Solana, is going to help everyone else, right? That's just how it works. Money flows in, flows out. and gets everyone super excited, and basically it gets swirled around in the crypto ecosystem, and that's good. Base also, you can't profit on base. You can profit on base memes or base dApps, but you can't profit on base. But nevertheless, they have 8 billion TVL. They are the largest L2 now out there. And a lot of people are very excited about Base. And Coinbase also has their new smart wallet, which integrates with Base pretty well. So that's pretty fantastic. Arbitrum, which is the biggest L2 out there for Ethereum, they're going to distribute 250 million in ARB tokens. Interesting. To gaming innovation, right? Right now we don't see a lot of games, but there are some, and they're not very popular. But I still think gaming narrative is going to become a thing later this year and in 2025. And another L2 ZkSync will airdrop 3.7 billion ZK tokens to user wallets next week. That's a lot. Capped at 100,000 tokens per wallet. So look forward to that if you've been using ZkSync and trading within, I don't know, the biggest DEX. But yeah, a lot of people will get some juicy airdrops in the near future. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll up. Let me see if I missed anything. Wendy says, I just don't understand a dip at this point. What is there not to understand? Things happen. Things always happen. There's always dips. I'm sure if you dig deep enough, you'll find that, yeah, someone sold and then caused a lot of longs to get liquidated. It happens all the freaking time. This happened before, down here happened before, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. You know what? It happens. Why is not as important as what are you going to do about it? Are you going to panic sell? Or are you going to panic buy? Or are you going to stay calm and just continue DCA? That's the most important question. John Dice says, all coins are making new lows though. Not really. They are getting weaker because Bitcoin dominance is getting stronger. That's normal. This is why I've always suggested 50, 25, 25. I never said, hey, everyone should be 100% on alts, because I know that's a big mistake. A lot of people do that. But I've always said 50% in Bitcoin for that stability and growth. Yes, there's plenty of growth and stability when there's volatility. 25% in big caps. Yeah, they haven't been doing as well as Bitcoin, but they still have some stability and hyper growth when the timing is right. And then in small caps and mid caps and micro caps, they have astronomical growth when the timing is right. But there are times where they suck because they go down a lot too. But that's why having that 50% in Bitcoin is so important. You really want that stability. Paulo says, there's a whale with $2.3 million in long. I'm sure there are a lot of whales with much more and bigger longs than that. Freedom is asking, what's your opinion on LimeWire? Is it good to buy? Now they're down. They kind of rebranded. They're not like a torrent service anymore. I think they went into AI or something. It's not a company that I really follow, Freedom, so can't really comment on them. Paulo has another super chat. Live Bitcoin whale with a 34.7K long position. Okay. Are you that live whale? Ninebreaker says, Iggy and Andrew Tate marked the local top. I blame them. Yeah, well, they definitely came in and pumped their memes. But yeah, I guess local top, not the ultimate top. Local top, you could say that. Celebrity coins are just getting really hot, of course, because of the meme craze. And now it's like celebrity meme craze. You could say it's local top. But, again, to put things in perspective, okay, we were at this level May 31st, so less than 2 weeks. Okay, it kind of sucks that we lost 2 weeks of gains, but we were at the same level 2 weeks ago. So not all is lost, and certainly the bull run is not over. I mean, again, when in doubt, zoom out and realize that we've been going sideways at this level since March, the beginning of March till now, right? So it's been like 3 months. A lot of choppiness, but again, we have seen choppiness like this before in previous cycles. Thoughts on Tyco, newly L2 project? $138 million. That's a surprise considering this is new. They launched. Oh, actually, it tells you it launched on Upbit. That's what caused it pump, and then now just going down and down. A base roll up. Okay. It's a nice website, but it's describing everything that other L2s have. I guess the big thing is they raised $37 million back in March. Well, they did it right because March was like, when things were really hot. So they raised at a perfect time. It looks fine. I just don't know too much about it. I know if it's that new, probably has no dApps on there. The circular supply is extremely low, though. Extremely low. If this is true, only 6% is released. Its fully diluted market cap is already 2.2 billion, not the 137 million. Okay, so that's really deceiving. If they only release 6% of their token, that means this is not undervalued at all. This is extremely overvalued for such a new chain. So I would say no to that. ASI merger. Man, why did this reset? ASI mergers in 2 days. Fetches low. Thoughts? I'm looking forward to it. That's all I can say. I don't know what it's going to do after it merges, but I think it's quite exciting. We haven't seen 3 companies merge together like that. In fact, I don't even remember 2 companies merging like that in crypto. Han is asking, your guess on the start of altcoin bull market. I think around like September, October of this year, we're going to see a mini altcoin season. I think that's when Bitcoin starts really rocking, and then we're going to get a mini altcoin season. But true altcoin season probably won't start until second half of 2025. How are you feeling on RWA project like prop based? They're launching real estate marketplace and first property listing this month. I've seen them before, and I like how they're doing something different because all the other RWA plays right now are more focused on like tokenizing yield or tokenizing treasuries, right? Or tokenizing fiat. Those are just banking stuff. At least prop based, I don't know if they're going to succeed, but at least they're doing something different with real estate. And same thing, like I've covered Opulus before for music, and there's a few others that are in this space that are trying to tokenize real world assets. They're actually things that people care about, not like banking products, right? So I hope they do well. Daryl says, and he talks in third person, Diamond Hand Daryl, just continue to DoorDash and DCA. We will play ball someday. You're on my bucket list. Maybe, if I ever see you on the court and I don't break my knees. Man, you guys know that, like, this Sunday, I was walking those damn stairs, man. And my calves and my legs are so sore. They've gotten more sore now that's 2 days after the fact. I can't even walk. I was dreaming about soreness. It's crazy how little stairs can do that. So out of shape. I need to get better. Anyways, just random thought there. Ondo will be the most name recognized form of RWA. It already is, but again, it's just tokenizing yield. Like, I have no interest in tokenizing or tokenized treasuries. You know, I don't know who's actually buying Ondo. I feel like it's a lot of the VCs and banks, because banks are the ones that are benefiting the most from it. But for like a retail investor, like, why would I buy Ondo? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Crazy Future Radio, the crayfish cursed us all. It's funny because the technical definition or the technical name is crayfish, but everyone calls it crawfish. But like, it's written as crayfish, so I it's just weird. But it's weird that I was walking on my Sunday walk video 2 weeks ago and just some random crawfish or crayfish just stopped in the middle and then like had his claws at me. Benjamin is shilling some bow meme. I'm not gonna talk about it. You guys could read this super chat if you want. G Money 2025, when I retire, hopefully I'll be able to do more fitness stuff and do a different kind of stuff. I'm waiting for that to happen. I think 2025 is going to blow people away. You know, this time in 2025, in June of 2025, I'll be sitting here and I'll be showing CMC, and I could even go back a year, right, to like right now. But like in June of 2025, I'm going to be on CMC and Bitcoin is going to be at 160,000. Ethereum is going to be at 10,000. Solana is going to be at like 1,500. Okay. And we're going to get volatility, and then people are going to panic just like now. And I'm going to bring back what it was a year ago to reference that, hey, we have gone up so much within 1 year, but people won't remember it. That's how it always is. You know what would be funny? I bring him up, like I could actually do that right now. Too bad you can't like really go. How about I go like. If I, how far back can I go? You have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. But like, okay, here's a major dump. I don't know what price it is, but 9 months ago, let's just take a look at it. Okay, see here. 9 months ago, a major dump, massive Bitcoin crash caused by Elon. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Okay, look at the price right there. Okay, we were at 30,000. We crashed to 26,000. It was kind of scary, right? But again, to put things in perspective, it was 26,000. And where are we now? 67,000. And that was 9 months ago, right? I'm sure if I went to 6 months ago, it'd be the same thing. It's like, you know, once things pass, you just don't even remember. Short-term volatility always happens. Imagine 9 months ago when Bitcoin crashed from 30,000 down to 24,000, and then you panic sold and you exited the market. How stupid would you feel had you done that? But think about had you listened and DCA'd, how happy you would be now, right? Even with today's crash. It's going to be the same thing. A year from now, June of 2025, you know, maybe we went from 180 down to 140, or 180 down to 160, and then people will be going out of their mind saying it's a big crash. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to roll back a year and prove it to you guys that it's normal. You should be DCAing and you should ignore short-term volatility. It's just how it is. Lotto, with the market moving faster than usual, will end sooner than expected. I have a feeling won't last until December 2025. That might be true because we are moving a little bit faster, right? So maybe we end the cycle midway through the year, or maybe like August and September of 2025. That could be true. I mean, so once we start breaking into these crazy levels, that's when I think profit taking is going to be more important. At least having that cash on the side. I don't think I'll ever sell everything because a lot of people always try to time top and try to sell everything. I don't think I'll ever do that, but I'll increase my cash pile as we go higher just in case. Once we break through 150 and we're heading to like 180, 200, and we're like 250, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take out more money that way, right? And make sure I have enough. So that's the thing. That way you don't have to time top. I wonder if I can go all the way back. If I go back to 2023, beginning of 2023. Oh man, I got to start over. I wonder if I could do. I was 9 months, right? Like, let's see. I'm gonna find another crash. 12 months ago would be June of last year, 2023. Gary wins. What did he do? He sued someone, so it must be a big crash. Let's see how low Bitcoin was at this point. What did Gary even do? I forgot. He sued someone. He sued Coinbase. No, he sued Binance. That's what happened. So where's Bitcoin then? Yeah, still 25,000. Look at me smiling at that. Again, When in doubt, zoom out, or when in doubt, just DCA. Let's see. Stefan is asking, XRP tokenizing gold and silver, exciting times. I want to meet Brad Garlinghouse. You know, he was at Consensus. I saw him talking. I didn't like, you know, it would have been cool to take a picture with him. I'll just leave it at that. Benjamin is shilling Bao again, like before. I owe an apology to Vincent in the chat. I don't know what you said, but hopefully he accepts. Stefan says Gary's from North Korea. Gary's tenure is almost over. By the end of this year, by November, he will be out. We will have a new SEC chair. So we won't have to wait much longer. Vincent is saying, love you back. And this is awesome. And so is the Plus channel. Thank you. In 2017, we had 16 weeks of chop. In 2024, we have 15 weeks of chop. If you look at the up to down to back up, looks pretty similar. Looks pretty similar. Please come out with a George meme. You are going to be a global powerhouse. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could get behind it. Just look at all the controversy around the celebrity memes right now and memes in general. I think memes in general are great, but celebrity memes, I'm not so sure they're great. I'm not so sure they understand what they're doing yet. And it's just opening up the doors for the SEC to go after them. So I don't know. I don't think I'll ever come out with a meme, but I will definitely support great projects that are coming out. So I'll leave it at that. There is something I'm very excited about that will be coming out later this year. I'm super, super, super excited about it. I can't share the details yet, but I will be a big part of it. So that's later this year. And it's not a meme coin. Max is asking about CLV. What is CLV? I don't remember what CLV is. Seamless, compatible, interoperable solutions. Substrate-based, specialized L1 is even compatible, game-changing cross-chain features. So it's a L1. Not that many nodes, 153, a little bit centralized. That's how they're able to get 5,000 transactions per second because they don't have a lot of nodes. Outside that, can't really say much about them. Relatively new. Been out since 2021, have no traction whatsoever. Like zero traction whatsoever since 2021, so not sure they're going to make it this cycle. George, when Bitcoin pumps to 80,000 plus, will alts rebound? Yes. I think we're going to have, you know what happened in March? We had a mini altcoin season. I think we will get that sometime in September, October. I think that's when Bitcoin is going to start breaking through and getting close to either 100,000 or breaking through 100,000, and we're going to get a mini altcoin season. Stefan, I already have the I Am George NFTs. Jorel, what do you think about DEX tools and their burn system? I have no idea that DEX tools have burn system. I just use them to find meme coins. I don't I don't even know they have a coin. It'd be kind of silly to buy a DEX tools coin. Is it true that this means we won't get a full altcoin season? No, that's not what it means at all. I think people don't realize what altcoin season is. People like throw that term around and they don't quite understand. I guess I have to show you guys. Oh my God. Now they have all this stuff that's listed. Okay, I'm going to zoom into 2021. Okay. So you look at 2021. It's kind of cool that CMC added all this, but it's kind of annoying if you want to use the chart. But yeah, altcoin season, for some like Ethereum, you could see that, hey, Ethereum started going up ever since basically 2021 started. And then it went from like $450 all the way up to $5,000, right? But you could see here, midway through the year, it went from 3,800. Think about this. This is May. May of 2021. Ethereum went from 3,800 down to 1,700. That's more than a 50% drop within a couple of months. A 50% drop, and then what happened? Went from 1,700 to 5,000. That is like altcoin season. That's an example of what could happen. And I've always shown this before. In case you guys don't remember, like someone like Shib, for example, okay? That time period is when it freaking skyrocketed. Okay, just look at that time period. Well, I just showed you for Ethereum. That went from 1,700 all the way up to 5,000. Look at what SHIB, it was in around that time, May, it was over here. And then it ended up over here, right? But really, if you even discount that, you could say from September, it went from here all the way there. So, I mean, you're talking about less than 3 billion market cap to 39 billion. That's more of a 10x within a single month. That is altcoin season, okay? Basically, the tail end, you have a couple of months where alts go nutty and skyrocket a 10x within 2 months. That is true altcoin season. Now, every cycle, you still see mini altcoin seasons, and you see, of course, alts rise with Bitcoin's rise. That's normal. But when we're referring to altcoin season, this is altcoin season. So like something like Bonk or Pepe, any of these big memes, Brett or whatever, Book a Meme, all these, the tail end of 2025, you could see them all do a 10x within a month. That's when you know it's altcoin season. And when that happens, that's when you know the bubble is probably going to burst, and that's when you need to take profits hardcore. Chester, Chuck and Cost have both double bottomed. What are you more bullish on? Neither, even though I hold both, but I have not really paid attention to either one, to be honest. So I'm just holding and seeing what happens. Jay's asking, are you still holding your cock or are you selling? No, just like the others, I'm still holding it. I'm still working in a team to see if I can get them to find the IFC, but Just like all the other memes I hold, just holding it. Stefan says 100% altcoin season. And Benjamin is shilling Bao some more. I appreciate all the shilling, Benjamin. I appreciate the super chats. But you're barking up the wrong tree here. You know what you should do? If you want more attention to that meme coin, you should donate to the 30 Degens public wallet so that they can look at it and talk about it and analyze it. And you shouldn't talk with the 30 Degen guys, Josh and Scott. Pizza says, I believe we're going to an 8 to 12 trillion market cap this cycle. Oh boy. Why are you saying oh boy to that? That is certainly possible. I think this cycle we will see a 20 plus trillion market cap. A 10x or less than 10x. A 20 trillion is less than 10x, but can we see a 10x on the overall market cap by the end of this cycle? I believe so. I believe that will happen. We will see a 20 trillion plus market cap. First of all, market caps in crypto is very highly inflated. We know that already, right? So to think a 20 plus trillion market cap seems outrageous, but everything's inflated in crypto. We know that already. But I'm looking at it from this perspective. Can things go up 10x from here? Well, maybe not Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't see Ethereum hitting 35,000 by the end of the cycle, nor Bitcoin at 660,000 by the end of the cycle. That's not going to happen. But can others do a 10x? Can Solana end up at 1,500? Yes, I believe that can happen. Right? Can Doge do a 10x to $1.40? Can Cardano even do a $4.20 by the end of the cycle? Yes. A lot of these have to do a 10x just to get back to their previous high. So yes, I do definitely see that. Max, is Matic dead? They're getting weaker. They're getting weaker and weaker. And I'm hearing reasons why. So they're not dead. Hopefully they could turn things around. But they are definitely getting weaker. A lot of projects are moving away from them. All right, guys. So we had a dip. Some may call it a crash. And this is all because we have a big FOMC meeting coming up tomorrow. This always happens. It's normal. When in doubt, zoom out. And if you don't believe me, well, I've shown you my video from 9 months ago, from a year ago, when Bitcoin was at $25,000, okay? We will move past. We always do. We always move forward and higher. All you have to have is patience and continue to DCA. Let the gains come to you. All right. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.